Hey everyone, welcome to my Yasuo matchup guide. So in today's video, I'll be going through all the different matchups that Yasuo have in the mid lane, as well as all the runes and builds that you can go to deal with them. So over here is the mid matchup tier list that I made. So you might want to pause the video here or take a screenshot and see all the different matchups that we are going to be going through today. Disclaimer here, this video is a guide to help you learn and get knowledge on the matchups. You won't magically start getting LP just because you watch it. It's up to you to apply the knowledge you have learned and use it in your own games. So for Qiyana, the runes you want to go for will be Comet, Mana Flow Band, Absolute Focus, and Scorch. You can alternate between Scorch and Gathering Storm, that's up to you. So for secondary tree, you want to go for Bone Plating, Overgrowth, Double Adaptive, and HP Scaling. So if you go for this build, you're going to struggle with mana early game. You want to get the early tiers into Ruby Crystal and the Giant Spell. Okay, so if they have multiple physical damage on the team, you can go for early Cloth Armor into Plated Steel Caps. For the first item, you want to go for Rylai's. Secondary, you want Liandry's. And for the third, you always want to go for a defensive build if you're against a lot of assassins. It's the best defensive item in the game. Get it. Okay, so the remaining item you can flex them accordingly to the game. If you need more damage, go for Death Cap, go for Shadow Flame, go for Blood Ladders, and situation item that you can buy will be Morelos and Creep Bloom. So if you realize there's no tiers in this build, that's correct, because from 25 minutes onwards, the whole team is gonna get blue buff for free. So you do not need any mana items. So sell tiers whenever you can. Do not make Archangel. This item has terrible stats. I would not recommend getting it. So in the laning phase at level 1 against Qiyana, you want to add point to Q. And because Yasuo is really strong early game into melee matchups, you really want to make use of this advantage. Walk up to the minion wave, start queuing her. Together with your Bone Plating, 100% of the time you are going to win a trade, right? So once you get that little slight poke advantage you have, go back into a minion wave, CS normally. So your goal against Qiyana is to survive. Try not to die against her, so she don't get to snowball, and she don't just magically one-shot you every chance you get. Alright, so your best bet against Qiyana will be to survive, look for opportunities to fight during the small skirmishes and team fights, and that's how you deal with Qiyana. Against Naafiri, you want to go for Blackfire Torch first, so that you can clear her dogs together with the minion wave. For the item build, it's just gonna be pretty much the same. So over here, we went ahead and trade with him level 1 inside our minion wave. So although we tanked 2 of the kills early, we still managed to get an even trade due to the minions and Bone Plating. So early trade like this is really helpful when you're dealing against champions like Naafiri, as it reduces some pressure from you. So against Yone, it's a bit tricky because they usually go for Little Temple and Duran Shield together with Bone Plating, so we can't out-trade them level 1 with the cheese. So instead, what you want to do is to channel your Q on them whenever they try to go towards the minion wave to stack up their Qs. This way, you can still get in some poke whenever they try to go for the CS. But you want to be careful to dodge his Q3 whenever you can, because at level 3, they are going to charge up Q3 together with E. They're going to come forward, and if you try to Q through this, you don't really win the trade. So you want to back off whenever he uses E with Q3. This is by far the worst matchup possible for Yasuo. Akshan is such a strong champion level 1, you can't even overextend towards your wave, or you will just die to his E, PTA, and inner combo. So what you want to do here is to play passively and hug the minion wave close to your turret, and just try to survive the laning phase, because the champion roams 10 times better than us due to his W and E. So I highly recommend you to ban Akshan if you see him a lot in your elo, or you're going to have a really bad time against him. So against Ambessa, you want to add point to Q to make sure to poke her out whenever she tries to go for CS, but be careful of her Qs, as she can spin to your face and just get good trade-offs. Try to manage your wave and freeze them outside the turret range with your E and farm. Look for opportunities to get her by asking your jungler for gank, or look for roams towards the bot side of the map, or the top side when your jungler is going for objectives. I wouldn't worry too much about this matchup, as there's going to be very few people that pick this champion in the mid lane. Fizz will start a point in E and they always try to use it to last hit the first 3 melee minions and harass you as well. So to position yourself away from the melee minions and kill him once his E ended. You want to be careful of his level 3 all-in combo with Ignite. So to prevent this, you want to make sure to stay off his Q range and use your E wisely to freeze the minion wave just outside the turret range to deny his all-in. If he decides to E in to QW burst you, respond back with a WQ combo if possible. Like all the SSC matchup, your goal is to survive laning phase and farm up. Always look for roams whenever possible. This is a very tricky matchup because Kassadin's Q can cancel Yasuo's Q, but you can still chase him level 1 for about 2 free stacks. So pre-6 you can still abuse him with your WQ combo as he cannot cancel your W, but you want to beware of his Q's cooldown. So every time Cass walks up to the wave, channel Q and poke him out. Place your E behind the mage minions to deny his retreat and gain some stacks. You want to be really careful of him once he reaches level 6 and only trade into him once he uses his R. Keeping in mind that his R in level 1 has a 4-second CD, use that to your advantage. That is really into Yasuo level 1 since you'll always be putting a point to Q, so walk up behind the minion wave to cheese him to give yourself an early advantage. Be careful of his level 3 WQE combo as it can really hurt with electrocute. You want to move around randomly to reduce his chances of landing double kills on you. So watch out for his level 6 all-in and hug your turret to farm it out. If you struggle a lot with surviving in this lane, consider getting Zonya second and you can finish your lane druids as a third item. Akali level 1 can be strong, so you want to space yourself between her Q and avoid letting her prompt the Q passive on you, or you will deal a lot of damage. Your Q has the ability to stick onto her when she's in a shroud, so don't be afraid to stick onto her. Do be aware of her E as it does crazy burst damage. If you're ever hit by it, W backwards towards your turret. Relax first will be your best item against her, followed by Leandris and a defensive third item if required. As always, try to freeze the wave outside the turret against her. So here's a clip of how you can handle Akali at level 1. So she tries to kill me at level 1, so I respond back with my Q. Always charge your Q out when you see melee champions walking up towards you and they have no CC. Do not be afraid to do that. So every time she tries to go in for a CS, channel up Q to poke her down. See over here, I took an opportunity to burst her through the minions. And she made a mistake to E me here, so I'm going to respond back with my WQ combo. And look at that, just like that, you apply so much pressure. Against Talon, you always want to avoid his W second cast for hitting you as you allow him to proc his 3 passive and that will do a lot of damage. You can chase him level 1 with Q and look for an WQ or-in combo whenever possible. Remember to freeze your wave against Talon as an assassin and they hate freezes, as he forces them to back off or trade for 1-for-1 under your turret. As he's also a heavy roamer, you might want to save your teleport for when he decides to roam towards the bot lane so that you can assist your teammates. So here is an example of what you can do against Talon level 1. Because he's really weak into you at level 1, you want to be walking up behind the wave and pressuring him. So you put down your Q over here. You can see that we already won the trade here and I could have just backed off, but I made a mistake and overcommitted and we lost the trade because he has Ignite. So you can do the same thing as me, but just try not to overcommit and make the same mistake as me and you'll win the trade early. Go for a W or E start. If she goes for a W start, you will win the 1v1 trade, so don't be afraid and just channel your Q all the way through. But if she starts E, you want to be careful as he out damages you if she runs press the attack or little tempo. Although she is an ADC, she can also be considered an assassin when she is played in the mid lane, so be careful of a level 3 all-in and freeze the wave so that she cannot all-in you. As long as you survive the laning phase, you will be GG for them since you are better than her in team fights and objective control. Mel is a long range mage that will excel in poking you out if you are not careful. Always move around unexpectedly and in random motion to throw their prediction off and dodge their kills. The moment they use their E on the wave or misses it on you, WQE combo in and chase her down. This is a fairly easy matchup for you as Mel is so immobile and Yasuo has so many flank angles that you can make use of to engage onto her. However, you want to be careful not to eat too many stacks of passive or 1 R is going to delete you. Qiyana is another popular assassin in the mid lane that is able to one-shot you if she goes for a full magic pen build. As usual, you want to abuse her level 1 with bone plating, but you want to be wary of her level 3 all-in. Try to always position yourself away from the minion wave as she will try to hit the wave and you at the same time. She can also burst you down with just EWQR combo, so don't get too close and freeze your wave. Rush Ruby Crystal into Giant's Belt and build into a Rylai's. This is very strong against all the SSC matchups. And she is very vulnerable once her R is down. So if she ever makes a mistake and you flash her R, don't be afraid to fire back with your own RAQ combo to burst her down. Hwei is another long range mage that excel in wave clearing all the time. You might think that getting Blackfire Torch Max with wave clear is going to be a right choice, but you're wrong. Rush Rylai's into him and you can always run him down once he wastes his E, and it's always guaranteed to force him to flash or just die to an immense laser beam. You can even consider a Shadow Flame second if there are no tanks on the enemy team and get lane race after. Lissandra is a champ that will poke you through minions with a Q, so you want to avoid standing too close or behind your minions to prevent that. You can opt for a level 1 cheese as she is very weak level 1 as well. She has a very short ability range, so you can always outrange her with Q or even double Q combo once she raises spells on CSing. Her W is capable of cancelling your flight, so you might want to keep that in mind. She's capable of bursting you at level 6 with an all-in, so try to keep yourself healthy and ward up to avoid ganks as they will always be looking for level 6 flash R to combo with their jungler. Leblanc is another mage assassin that is difficult to deal with at level 3, so you want to make sure to position behind and freeze the wave to prevent any all-in. If you are ever caught in her WEQ combo with no way of escape, just full channel your Q and throw down your E on her W so she will be forced to take damage and give you stacks, as they will always go back to their W. If they were to make a mistake of using her spells on the minions for CS, you want to WQE combo to burst her down. If you struggle a lot in surviving against her, try to get her early banshees and she will be forced to rotate more spells to burst you down. And because you outskill her, just try to skill into the late game and you will get more advantage as the game goes on. She is a mage that works just like an assassin, except she can only one-shot you whenever her flash is up. So do keep her flash timer in check and never W into her when her stun is up. When she makes a mistake of using a stun on the wave, do not hesitate to WQ combo her and trade back. Like most mages, it's very immobile and easy to kill without a flash or stun. Lead to the LeBlanc matchup, you might want to get an early banshees to prevent her all-in, and you can outscale her as the game drags on, and you will win from there on. Ekko is a tricky matchup that is hard to deal with even at level 1. If they run Heals or Blade with E, you want to avoid trading at level 1 as you will always lose the trade and open yourself to a level 2 Ignite all-in combo. Play back towards your turret as they will always throw Q to push the wave and will be forced into a bad spot if you freeze the wave. If they miss their W sign and rotated all their spells, WQ to trade back. Always rush Rylai's and Rangers into Ekko, and if you have a hard time surviving against him, get an early banshees and you'll be fine. Neeko is a niche pick in the mid lane, so you will hardly see her being picked nowadays in the SSC meta. So to deal with her, you want to avoid her Q pokes as much as possible by moving in random motions and only WE when she misses her E on you. Be careful of her level 6 all-in and always press tab when fighting against her as you will be able to spot her out if she's in lane by looking at her champ profile lighting up. So Rylai's first into ranges for this matchup, and if you struggle, go for a third item Banshee and she will have a hard time trying to kill you without a flash. Sylas is a really strong assassin that works similarly to Zed, but his weakness early game is that he will lack damage level 1. Always try to dodge his E2 if you can by moving randomly. However, if you ever get hit by his E2, do not panic and just drop E and channel Q to trade back. You can always WQ backwards if required. Sylas will not be able to kill you if you can dodge his E2, so rush Rylai's into Leandris and get a defensive third item if you struggle with surviving against him. Hwei is a burst mage that can deal you early game if you eat a bubble, so be sure to hide behind minions when challenging your Q early game. Once she misses a bubble, WQ combo to poke her down. You want to always throw your E onto her R whenever possible. Once a flash or bubble is down, you'll be able to play aggressively to look for a Q with your full WQER combo, and you'll be fine. Consider getting an early banshees if you struggle with dodging her bubble, and she will have a hard time trying to kill you off of that. Xerath is the longest range mage in the game, so to play against him will require a little bit of mind games. Always move around rambling and try to avoid standing close to the minions as they will look to kill the minions and you together. Only WQ in when his E is down and he will be a freebie to collect. He has no chance against you when his flash is down as you can always flank him from the side with a WERQ combo. Rush Rylai first to run him down and consider Shadow Flame second, the enemy team is squishy. Katarina is super weak level 1 as she will always add Q and try to finish off the first 3 melee minions. You want to walk up behind the minion wave and zone her out with your Q at level 1. Be sure to stay away from her dagger locations and throw down E onto her dagger whenever you can. Pull a freeze by not EQing the wave and she will be forced into a bad spot. As she is a heavy favorite for roaming, you want to make sure to train into her whenever you can and ward up the river to help your team spot her roams. You can also save your teleport for her roams, as using your home guards and W can get you back in lane fairly quickly. Do not panic if she gets ahead as you skill higher than her late into the game. Yasuo can be a tricky matchup as he is really slippery with his E, so always keep a distance from a minion wave and Q tap his passive shield whenever it comes up. Avoid standing still with Q when he has one Q stack, as he will charge it up really quickly to donk you up. Keep in mind that his wind wall does not block any of your abilities, so don't be afraid to channel your Q through his wind wall. Rush Rylai's first into Leandris and you better run him down once his flash is on cooldown. To lane against Pantheon, you want to always channel your Q throughout when he's going for the CS, and if he tries to on you with his stun, drop E on yourself and you're gonna gain stacks and you W backwards. Pantheon is a champion that can kill you only if his flash combo is up, so you want to stay out of his W range whenever possible and only W in if his stun is on cooldown. As he is really immobile, you want to Q tag him and pull a freeze to force him to a bad spot that will make him be open to jungle ganks. Always take note of his level and ping out his level 6 roam to warn your team. You can also save your teleport for his R rooms. Jayce is a poke and burst champ all in one, so you want to make sure to dodge his EQ combo whenever you can. However, he will have to change into melee form to unleash his full combo, so be sure to ER and W backwards if that happens and you'll always be able to survive. As always, he's an immobile champ that is really prone to ganks. Once his flash is down, do not ever try to W into him if his melee E is up, as he can cancel your W flag and you'll be in the bad spot and you can die to him. So you just want to scale and play into the late game against Jayce, as he is really immobile and there's so many angles that you can get him later into the game. Irelia is also weak level 1, so look for a cheese but do not overtrade, as you can just kill the 3 melee minions and get close onto you while also regenerating a portion of her health back. As she is the only champion in the game that will kill you even when she misses all her spells, you want to make sure to keep a distance. However, she's also an immobile champion that is prone to ganks. You want to make sure to keep a distance from the minions and freeze them just outside the turret range so that you can call your jungle for a gank and she won't be able to dive you under the turret. Your goal against her is to survive and farm so that you can skill into the game without giving her advantage to snowball. Veigar can be an easy matchup, but putting it in the middle range as it can be difficult to deal with if you play this matchup wrongly. Always look for a level 1 cheese as he will be adding point in Q and he has no choice but to back off from the wave. Once he wastes his E, look for WQ engage to wear him down. His lane will be easy if you do not make the mistake of flying into him when his W is up. As Veigar is a very short range mage, you can outscale and outrange him later into the game, so don't be afraid to just farm up and look for rooms. Viktor is also a champion that is weak level 1, so look for a cheese whenever you can. Also, he will be looking to poke you down with E through the wave, so always W in on him from the fog once he uses his spells on the minion wave. His level 6 all-in can be strong as he can cancel your W, so be sure to burn his flash first before trying to go all-in on him. Cassoepia loses to ASO level 1 and she will be forced to exhaust all her mana to go even in the trade. Just be careful to dodge her Qs whenever possible and do not fly at her when her W is up, as she can ground you and burst you down in a single rotation. You will outscale and outrange her, so be patient in this matchup and look for opportunity to burn her flash and kill her when she makes a mistake of burning her W. You can always bait her R out by doubling towards her. Keep in mind not to be too close, as a W combo can still burst you down if you are too low, and turning your head immediately and dropping your full combo afterwards. Swain is a champion that is extremely level 1 into ASO, so cheese him down and go for aggressive trades. Whenever he misses his E, just W key into him to burst him down. Be careful of his level 6 as you do not want to fly into him. You want to save W to get out of his R and wait for another chance to engage once his ultimate is on cooldown. Rylai's Rush will be your best choice to do Swain as he's immobile and really easy to run down. You might also want to consider getting an early anti-healing to stop him from healing too much when he uses his ultimate. Gragas is another niche pick that will be hardly seen played in the mid lane. His level 1 is weak and you can opt for a cheese to get a little lead. Always stay clear from the minion wave so he will be forced to pull you with Q. Be careful with his WEQ burst and use your E to freeze the wave. Do not fly into him when he E is up. Kennen cannot consistently proc his stun on you pre-6, so you want to WQ him if he has no stack on his W passive. Always be dodging his Q and be careful of his level 6 all-in. Rush Rylai's first to run him down. Ziggs has a strong level 1, so you want to look for a cheese to burn his potion if you are a risk taker. But be careful of his Q pokes by staying away from your minion wave, as he can explode in a large area around the minions. Only WQ him if he wastes his W, as he can cancel your flight. He's considered rather immobile, as his W doesn't bring him very far, so look for all-in once his flash is down and rush Rylai's into him. Ahri is weak level 1, so look for cheese. Her only ability to cancel your Q will be her charm, so once you dodge or she misses it, WQ in to burst her down. Even at level 6, she don't stand a chance into ASO. Once you dodge her charms, always look for a WQ combo to burn her R, and in the second rotation, you can look for an all-in combo to finish her off. That is by far one of the easiest matchup for ASO, as you outskill and outrange her once you have enough stacks. Do not attempt a level 1 cheese, as they will always go for a stun level 1. Just sit back and farm until she wastes a Q, and you can look for a WQ combo. Be careful of a good Anivia, as a well-timed wall can break your flight as well. A good combo will be to WERQ to finish her off. GangPlank is a crazy easy matchup. Just wait for his barrels to be down and simply WQ and burst him down. He has no CC, so his only option will be to turn on you or run away. You can always look for 11 cheats in this matchup, and if you struggle to survive against him, try getting Ninja Tabis or Zhonya's. Malzahar is the best matchup you can ask for as ASO. You want to rush Black Fire Torch and just wave clear and farm stacks off of his Voidlings. Always Q tag his passive away and look for all-in once he wastes his Q on the minions. Only thing you need to be careful here is his level 6 all-in, so ward up to avoid jungle ganks and stay off his R range. Throw down R immediately if he attempts to use his R flash combo onto you, and you can turn on him and kill him off. However, if you ever find a Galio that went full damage, don't panic, just farm safely from the turret, and you can outskill him and outrange him when the game drags into the late game, and there's no way you can go into your range anymore. Isaiah is weak level 1 as he cannot reposition his W, so you can cheese him level 1 by walking up to him. Remember to move away from his W before queuing him again a second time, as he can stack multiple Ws and that will do a lot of damage onto you. You can also use your WQ combo on him pre-6 as he have no CC before then to stop you. Be careful not to get too close to him once he is 6, as he can EQ flash RU into his turret and finish you off. Lux is the second longest range mage in the game, and she can be difficult to deal with if you are unfamiliar with the matchup. You want to always position yourself away from your minion wave, as she will look to harass you between the waves. Once she misses the Q on you, WQ in for the burst. Since she is also an immobile mage, freeze the wave and you can set up easy ganks to burn her flash and she is all yours. Ryze has a bad level 1, so you can offer a chase into him, but he will always W and AAU twice to proc his phase rush to get out. So against this matchup, you want to farm out and wait for him to waste his W before going in for a trade. Manage your wave well with a freeze and he will be prone to ganks easily pre-6. You might also want to save teleport for his level 6 roams to help your team out. Smolder is just food for ASO. He's weak at all levels into you, so just be sure not to take bad tricks by flying to him when he is close to his turret. Simply wait for him to waste his W on you while you're channeling Q, and WK into him to force him off the wave. Rush, Rylai's, and enjoy the free stacks and kills from him. The Fate, also known as a stack of free cards for ASO, his R does nothing against you and you want to WQ into him once he wastes his W on the minions. You can freeze your wave to force him out and punish him with WQ once he walks up too far into the lane. It is almost impossible to lose to a Tisfait matchup, and if you struggle against him, you can watch my VODs and I'll teach you how to deal with him. Syndra is a matchup that can be easily bullied level 1. Avoid her EQ combo by moving around randomly and WQ in on her once she misses a stun. Rush Rylai's and enjoy the free stacks. Morgana is basically just a wave clear bot, so she'll be adding W level 1, so you can look for a cheese here. Once she misses Q, just WQ into her and enjoy some free stacks and bursts. Be wary of her level 6 as she can CC log you if you are not careful with your health and positioning. So you just want to outskill her and ensure that you do not make mistakes early game to eating some random bindings and getting ganked by the jungler, and you should be fine. A Malphite matchup is basically just free rock stacks. So chase him at level 1 and WQ into him whenever there's a window as he is useless pre-6. Just always save flash for his level 6 all-in and you can counter burst him with your ultimate and full combo. Orianna is also pretty weak level 1, so you can do a level 1 cheese into her, But beware that she is going to take phase rush, so a Q and 2 hits is going to proc her phase rush, so you can't really do anything about it after that. So she does have decent range and poke, but she is weak pre-6, so you always want to look for WQ into her whenever there's an angle, and look for a freeze to force her to overextend and punish her from there. He is also very weak level 1, so you want to walk past the minion wave and just press Q on him to cheese him out. And he basically has no CC to stop you, and you can just farm stacks off of him easily. However, you want to be careful with his empowered Q, as he will outtrade you all the time. Only WQ in when his empowered Q is down, and you should be fine. So when there's opportunities, always WQ in, and he will be forced to burn his pool. And once his pool is down, wait for your next rotation, and you can burst him down with your WQ combo again. You might also want to get an early anti-healing orb into him to cut down on his healing, and you should be fine as you outskill him late into the game. Talia is weak to you at all levels. You want to avoid flying to her, however, if she has an E up, as it can stun you. Just be patient and wait for her to waste it before flying in with WQ to burst her down, and rush right life first, and you can easily run her down and force her to burn flash, and the next rotation you can finish her off. Vex is only a threat when her fear is up, so wait for her to waste her fear and spells on the wave so you can WQ into her for a quick burst. You want to always get Banshee against her, as a good art from her can burst you down really easily into late game. So just be wary of your positioning, and you should be fine as you outskill and outrange her later into the game. This is the third longest range mage out in the game that does ridiculous amount of true damage. You want to dodge his Q early and look for a window where he wastes his E to WQ and burst him down. So be careful if he holds his E throughout the entire laning phase, so you don't want to fly into him. Just farm it up and you will outrange him eventually when you have enough stacks, and you can engage him from very different angles, and you will win off the game. Mine is basically just free stacks, so always WQ into her whenever possible and enjoy the free lane. I don't think anyone plays Karma mid nowadays, so you can just ignore this matchup entirely. But if you ever face off against her, just know that this matchup is super free. Do not be afraid, play aggressive, and you will 100% win the lane. Q is basically just a very weak champion level 1 and pre-6 because she's melee. So you want to make sure you cheese her level 1, and you can just look for WQ angle into her easily pre-6. Since she is melee, you can just pressure her and force her to farm under a turret. And if you can, look for a freeze and deny farm from her and force her to overextend into a lane, and you can look for angles to burn her flash and kill her there. Hwei is a very strong champion level 1 with his overhit, so you want to make sure to always keep an eye on his hit bar. Do not attempt to fly into him when he has his hit bar active, as he can burst you down. Look for window WQ once his hit bar resets, and you should be able to do fine in this lane as long as you keep an eye out on his hit bar and play around it. Sion is just free stacks overloaded. Channel Q onto him whenever you can, and if he charges his Q, throw down your E and walk away. Repeat the process and enjoy your free stacks. Once his Q is down, you can look to WQ into him for a free Q and fly out again to dodge his passive. If you ever meet Sion, just buy Dark Seal for sure, as you can farm free stacks off of him, and you can even get Magi's later into the game because Sion players likes to run it down. Aurora is an easy matchup because the spells are easily dodgeable. Just pretend to walk out on her and then back off to dodge her Q and look for a WQ angle once she misses a QW combo. Be careful of a level 6 as she can still burst you down if you misplay or misposition yourself. So in this matchup, you want to always keep a distance and keep dodging her spells out, and you will be fine. Alright guys, so here's an example of how you can deal with Aurora level 1. So you want to walk up to her just like this. Press Q. Pretty much nothing she can do. And then fake your movement, dodge her Qs. Alright guys, that is all for my ASO matchup guide. If you'd like to see more content like this, like and comment to let me know what you think, and subscribe to never miss a video. I hope everyone watching have an amazing 2026, and let's all soar towards the peak. Peace out.